The rain is beautiful and much needed. Apparently today and tomorrow we're going to get a supercell storm, and it's coming in 3 waves. So not much we can do outside, but we can keep an eye out on things and hope for the best, I reckon. Well, have I got something exciting to show you. Looks like the door to the garden is up. Looks fantastic. Let me just turn this around. As you can see, we have a door. Huzzah! So, one thing that you have to be mindful of is that more rain forecast for Queensland next week. So, like Monday, Tuesday, I think, or something like that. So tomorrow we're going to paint this bit and the top bit that Serge put, and I think he's just going to put something down the middle, and then we will hopefully get the netting up. So yeah, we have a door. Looks fantastic. Nice and wide too. I'm super pumped. Yes. Looks fantastic. I love it. I absolutely love it. And the majority of it, other than a couple of the pine railings, was repurposed wood from the cubby. So yes, I love that we can reuse things from the farm, around the farm, and not chuck it into landfill or burn it off or do anything like that with it. So I'm really, really pleased. I can't wait. This project is almost done. The only other thing I want to do is here. I'm still debating if I'm going to do it inside the fence or outside the fence. I'm wanting to put up some shrubbery, like privacy shrubbery. I have to be mindful because on that tree there is the cable route notification. There is a cable route and conduit from the power poles, because from the power pole to the house it's all underground, the electricity and the internet and the phone line and a few other things. So I don't necessarily want to dig into any of this section here. I may have to make raised beds again, but not necessarily huge raised beds. So we do have some extra soil to the side, and when the earth mover guy comes, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, I may actually see with him if he can just bring a pile in here. I'll spread it out, and then I'll order hopefully my plants. So I'm still trying to decide which ones I want. And I'll probably order like 20 of them and plant them here. So we'll see. So that's another thing that's coming up. So this is the issue I have with gardening. Well, not an issue, but like I love gardening and I'm learning something all the time. Every day I'm learning something new. But I see the space in the garden bed and I'm like, oh, we have to put so many things. And even when it says, oh, plant this thing, 5 centimeters apart or plant it 30 centimeters in the ground, I'm like, no, you don't need to do that. Just put it wherever it fits. And then I end up with that issue. So, I mean, it's not a bad issue, but now technically I can't use those 2 squares that the squash is covering unless I was, I don't know, planting something, like maybe a root vegetable or something that didn't need sun. But which vegetable doesn't need sun? You tell me. Tell me. So this is where I messed up. So it's not the method. It's not the square foot gardening method that's messed up. I messed it up because I went, oh, bugger that. I can put, however many I want in there and I don't really have to pay attention to spacing rules. And now, of course, it's to the point that I couldn't take it out and it's going to take over quite a few squares. So when amateur gardeners, don't be like me, when it tells you to space your things and to plant them a certain, width apart, do it. Don't be like me. Is it time for dinner? Is it? Is it? Huh? Boop. No boop. She's like, no, Mum, I don't want a boop. Mikitse. Moosey. What's up? You want dinner? So this jerk, I put him in the side paddock. On the side paddock, I've just got, you can't see, right there to the fence line. I've just got some rope. He's usually quite respectful, even just of rope. And I see him like kind of back there, and I'm like, oh shit, Moose is out. Hey, pumpkin, what's happening? What you doing? You wanna have dinner? So I've moved from a 2 system to a 4 system, which I think is better. So the food that he gets is he gets maxi soy and he gets some copra, and that needs to soak up to get nice and fluffy. And he also has high gain, which is like a muesli type of food, which I add afterwards, and he gets his supplements. So I just think it's a little bit easier when I have 4 buckets going for feeding time. I have less work to do then. And look, if I can do anything efficiently, I will. What? Do you want your dinner? You gotta wait, man. Stay. He's so insane with his food. Good night, buddy. All right. So now that a few days have passed and we are home from the beach house, and things are in motion, I can probably talk a little bit more about that. So we had to cut our trip short, unfortunately, because there were some issues at the house. So basically we got there and found out that the property was not being looked after per the agreement, and all the inspection reports was basically the lady who was looking after it just walked in and, oh yeah, that looks good, and walked back out. So we went to do what's called a final inspection and pick up the keys, and we were basically going there to sign some paperwork and say goodbye to the house, because we were selling it. So sorry, there's another storm's on its way, so I'm just quickly out here. So we get to the house, multiple issues, multiple problems. We get there, the house is unlocked. When we walked into the back door, the handle from the inside was just hanging off its latch. No one fixed it. The people that were living in our house, you know, we had a formal agreement. We told them in time they needed to move on. It was like they basically just picked up their stuff and left. They didn't vacuum. None of the cleaning that is supposed to happen when a tenant leaves a property was done. So there was no pest spraying or cleaning conducted, which is a requirement in Australia, especially if your tenant has pets at the house. Your property has to be pest sprayed. That's something that they have to do. And you know, the cleaning and the carpet cleaning wasn't done. So the worst thing was the real estate, who's the property manager, kept saying, oh no, it's been done, and we're going, no, it wasn't done. Like, you can tell that it wasn't done. It stinks. It wasn't even vacuumed. You know, they didn't even wipe down the cupboards, and there was some other major issues that we found at the house. So unfortunately, that's now delayed us being able to list the property at the time that we wanted to list it. So it was technically supposed to be already on the market right now. It was supposed to be, you could go on the internet and search for it and find it and look for it. And unfortunately now we're in sort of mediation at the moment. So once a tenant leaves, from the day that they leave, they have 14 days before they can put in a request to get their bond. And in that 14 days, if there is anything that needs to be repaired or fixed, you know, like for them to remedy, you've got to give them that opportunity. So that finishes this Thursday. So we straight away, when we came back, I took a day. I needed a day because we were really disheartened by the whole experience. So when we came back, I gave myself the day and basically then drafted an email saying, look, this is everything that was wrong, that needs to be rectified, and you have to rectify it. So unfortunately, the property manager, because we busted her, we basically caught her out in her own lie and her own game, has just decided to be rude and not answer calls or anything either. So the worst thing was, Serge confronted her multiple times and said, you know, you said this, why wasn't this done? You know, you're claiming this happened, yet, you know, we walk in, the house is in complete disarray. It was a pigsty. And she kept saying, she said to him, oh, you don't know how hard it is. She goes, you don't know how hard it is. You know, we're so busy, it's so hard. And he goes, hold on a minute. He goes, I pay you to manage my property. I'm 450 kilometers away. You're getting 8% of the rent per week. You're getting 8%. It's your job. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, it's your requirement to prioritize the work, whether you're selling a house or managing the property as a rental. You can't just turn around and go, oh, it's too hard. If you find it, you know, if you think it's easier, you do it, which is what she said. So anyway, I hope it doesn't get to the point that it goes to court. There is in excess of $4,000 damage and repair and work that needs to be done. Unfortunately, the bond is only $1,400. And, you know, who's going to make up that shortfall? Like, who's going to do it? Who's going to get it done? Has to be the real estate. It has to be the property manager. The onus is on them. But whether or not that happens, that's next step. So I suppose that's what's happening. So once all this work gets done, Serge will be going back and we'll be just doing another inspection, making sure everything's up to code, up to the way that he wants it to be before he lists it for sale. And then we'll hopefully list it for sale. He's going to go there and just do like, you know, like a lawn mow and, you know, take the rubbish bins out and all that kind of stuff as well. And just make sure that everything's ready before photographs get taken. And then, yeah, we're going to list it for sale. So that's what happened with Woodgate. It didn't turn out the way we wanted, and we were basically lied to and misled for 18 months by the property manager who kept, and the worst thing is there's only 3 property managers in that town and they all hate each other and they all say how they're not like each other, and yet they're all like each other. So, and the issue is because it's sort of 45 minutes south and north of 2 sort of relatively decent sized towns, but no one wants to come out from there. No one's interested in coming out from those towns. Oh, it's too far, they say. God, 45 minutes, I can't drive that far. So that's been the issue, but hopefully we can now get it resolved. Hopefully it doesn't go to court, and hopefully they do things to our satisfaction. So we'll see. I'll keep you posted though if anything changes. And here we go. Big storm incoming. We just got notification that it's not far. It's probably about 30-40 minutes away. There's been 3 tornadoes, which is so bizarre. We've never had tornadoes in Australia, so I don't know what's going on with that. And yeah, it's gonna be a cracker. quickly just taking the pups out for a wee before the storm hits, because it's going to be huge. It's very, very dark. It's gone very still. The air is still. There's no sound. Sometimes what happens is at least the birds or, you know, things make sound, but no sound. So, yeah, it's already been rumbling. It's been rumbling for about an hour now, like, you know. So I reckon it's not far off. It's going to be a good one. How dark it is over there. It's actually really hard to see because this is, I'm just using my phone at the moment. So it's wide angle and obviously doesn't have much zoom, but the colour is way darker than what my phone is projecting. My phone is giving it a lot more light than what it actually is. It's coming. It's definitely coming. Oh, I hope Moosey's going to be alright. Kind of hard to see, but just there is a willy wagtail. We gave him the name Homie, and he's Moose's best friend. He will follow Moose around everywhere he goes, and off he goes. Loves Moose. Good morning, everyone. It's Saturday. It's humid as all heck. It's only 24 degrees, but it feels like it's 3 million degrees. So, well, not 3 million necessarily, but it's definitely humid. It's been raining a lot, and that's what happens in the wet season. It rains a lot and gets humid. So I am heading off now to, oh, I shouldn't put it so close to my face. I'm heading off now to another farm to pick up, it's like a nursery farm, and they have these plants called Lilly Pillies, and they're like hedging plants. And normally they're quite expensive. They're about 25 bucks for an 800 mil tall one, which is almost a meter tall. They're selling them for 15 bucks. So yes! So that section that I mentioned the other week at the front, I actually want to put some hedging in there. They grow like 3 meters by 2 meters or something. So the fact that they're 800 mil already means that they're quite well established and can probably kick off. So I am going to go and collect that and collect Moose's hard feed and come home. And so we'll get on to chores when we get home. Now, here I am making some seed mix. I'm actually making the mix that my friend Amy makes. So she puts mushroom compost, a bit of blood and bone, and just a cheap seed starter or potting mix. So I've just made that up. It's a little bit dry. I might actually add a little bit more mushroom compost, and then I'm going to start some seeds. So the seeds that I'm going to start are, where did I put them? I think they're inside. I wanted to start some broccoli, carrots, lettuce. What else did I want to start? Oh gosh, I can't remember. I was going to start a bunch of things. I think some watermelon or something, because it's quite warm here at the moment. So I'm going to do that. There's another storm coming today, but it's the middle of the day and it's about 3 million degrees C. It's really, really hot and really hard to breathe. So I don't necessarily want to go out and do poo pickup yet. I want to leave it until it cools down a little bit. So that's the plan for today. Oh, let me show you my Lilly Pilly. These are my Lilly Pilly. Look at them. They are almost a meter tall. Mix, don't touch. They're almost a meter tall. Look how beautiful they are. They grow 3 meters by 2 meters. They're like a foliage plant. And I wanted to put them over there. And behind, on the other side of the tank, that part of the fence. So it gives us a bit of, what's it called? Like just sound protection, screening kind of thing. Hey, sweet pea. Hey, pumpkin. darling. Yeah. Alrighty, so now we're ready to plant. So I'll tell you what we've got. Let me just fix this up. Okay, so I am doing some echinacea, sunflowers, some marigold, lemongrass, jalapeno chilies, Anaheim chilies, habanero chilies, heirloom lettuce, little gem or mini cos. So I did check all of these are suitable for spring and summer sowing. Beets, cucumbers. Now I have tried to plant these before. Yeah, they're not starting for some reason. I did exactly what it said to do, but they're not starting. Well, they didn't start previously, so I'm going to try one more time. Radish. I've got a few radish, actually. French radish, China rose, and red rambo. And some carrots. Two lots of carrots. Some corn. And also this one, blue mini. That's what we're going to do today. Keep going out and in because it's so hot. I think when I checked before it was 34 degrees and only 55% humidity, but it's awful, very awful. So I did want to show the garden. So we're almost done. We just have the front and the back to do. The sides are done though, so at least I know, because of all these hailstorms coming up now, that my little planties will be protected. But let's go inside because it's actually pretty wild inside. Alrighty. So finally, this soil that's in this little planter bag, it's actually good soil, and I was transplanting it elsewhere, and I started growing another sweet potato in there. I don't know how. So I've got this lettuce that kind of came up late here and here. Hopefully they survive. I don't know if they will. If they don't, that's okay. The tomatoes are more important. I can plant more lettuce elsewhere. I'm just going to backfill this today. But look how nice it looks inside. It just has this, I don't know, like you're in, I don't know, like a special place. So you see, I started doing this. I started backfilling this. Just to bump it up a little bit, and I'll also put some mulch over there. The issue with this mulch, this is one of the hay bales from Moose's old hay. It's Rhodes grass, and so it's long. It's not short like sugarcane mulch. And the only issue I think I might have is I might have to actually sit out here and then chop it with scissors in order to be able to get it like a little bit shorter size, just because it's challenging when it's like this quite long to actually put it over there. So as you can see, these potatoes are going burko, sweet potatoes, regular potatoes. So I have no idea where my husband put my string. I wanted to string this out whilst the back is open and pull out this soil a bit more today, because I wanted to start planting in there. So yeah, I wanted to start planting probably in the next couple of days. It doesn't have to be today, but there is some things that I want to plant direct. So like carrots and that kind of stuff that I want to put in direct. So yeah, I can't really do that. Well, I could do it for now, but it's just that I like having the squares because then it gives me like a visual guide. How nice is it? Don't get me wrong, it's still hot in here. It is a hot day. This is nice. It has a breeze and it's not entirely sealed. Obviously the door frame is open and can be opened. So if I do want to let the bees in, because they're the neighbour down that way has a lot of bees and they love coming here to, you know, pollinate and do all that kind of stuff. But don't get me wrong, like bees can still come in here, and probably mosquitoes and the like will come in here. But for now, this is fine because it's at least the sides are protected and there's airflow coming through the back as well. But it looks great. And that's my zucchini, not squash. If you've been watching my videos, you would have seen me talking about that squash. It's not a squash. Oh, I was going on and on and on. I was so excited. I was like, look at my squash, look at my squash. It's growing, it's so beautiful. And then one morning I got up, because the flowers are really vibrant in the morning, you know. And one morning I got up, I like coming in the morning to look at my plants. And I was like, oh, that's a funny looking long squash. Then I had a moment and I was like, oh, wait a minute. That's not a squash at all. It's a bloody zucchini. So I actually have zucchini growing, which I thought that I said, maybe in one of my very first videos, I thought that I said I maybe had planted zucchini. It doesn't matter. Whether it's zucchini or squash, it doesn't matter. It's going to be in my belly at some point in time, and I'll be happy that I grew it myself.